Today we are going to use a new strategy for doing some long division. So we're going to start out, and the strategy is called the box strategy for division. So we're going to start out doing this problem here. That's 954 divided by 6. So what I'm going to do when I recopy it is I'm going to put the divisor of 6, and then I'm going to kind of spread out my dividend. The 9, the 5, and the 4. I'm going to spread those out a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of make it look like this division like we did before, but I'm going to keep going and actually make it into a box. I'm going to make these 3 columns, and now I'm going to kind of think about multiplication facts. So I'm going to start out by 6 times something equals close to 9, but it can't go over, kind of like we were doing with our other strategy. So I'm going to say 6 times 1, because if I did 6 times 2, that would equal 12. So I'm going to do 6 times 1 equals 6, and then I'm going to subtract that from the 9 to get 3. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 3 and move it up to the next column. So now I have 35. Now I'm going to do 6 times something equals close to 35. 6 times 6 would be 36, so I'm going to go lower than that. I'm going to do 6 times 5. 6 times 5 equals 30. And so I'm going to subtract and get 5. I'm going to take that 5 and move it up to the next column. So now I have 54. 6 times 8 is 48. Oh, 6 times 9 is 54. So I'm going to subtract 54 in my last column and get 0. This right here would be the remainder. Doesn't look like I have a remainder, and so now right up here on top I get my answer. 954 divided by 6 is 159. So that's called the box method. Let's do one more together, and then I'll have you try a couple on your own. The next problem that we're going to do is 749 divided by 7. So I'm going to rewrite that in the box format. I'll make my 3 columns and start my multiplication. 7 times 1 equals 7. So I'm going to subtract 7. Now I get a 0. I'm going to just kind of put that 0 up here. We don't always have to have a 0 at the beginning of a number, but just that kind of reminds us that we always need to take this number and bring it up to the next column. Okay? So now I'm going to think 7 times what would get me 4? Well, if I did 7 times 1, that would be too big. That would be 7. So I'm actually going to do 7 times 0. And 7 times 0 is 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. And I'm going to move that 4 up to the next column. So now I've got 49. I know that 7 times 7 equals 49. So I'm going to subtract. And once again, I have 0 for a remainder. And my answer is right up here on top of the boxes, which is 107. Remainder 0, but we don't have to write the remainder of 0. All right, go ahead and try the next one on your own. This one is 8 divided by 388. Pause the video here and give it a try. All right, let's try this one. 388 divided by 8. And look what I did there. I'm actually going to do that again because I forgot to spread out my numbers for the box. So I'm going to try that again. 388 divided by 8. That gives me a little bit more space to work. All right, so 8 times something equals 3. That's not going to work. So I'm just going to put a 0 right there. 8 times 0 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. I'm going to move that 3 to the next column. Now I have 38. 8 times 5 is 40. So that will be too big. So let me try 8 times 4. Yes, 32. 8 times 4 is 32. 38 minus 32 is 6. That 6 gets moved to the next column. And now I have 68. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72, so that's too big. So I'm going to do 8 times 8, which is 64. We'll subtract. 68 minus 64 is 4. And this would be my remainder, with 48 being my answer. So my answer would be 48, remainder 4. Hopefully you got that one right. Let's try another. Go ahead and try this one on your own first. 5 divided by 216. Pause the video here and give it a try. All right, let's try it. 5 divided by 216. I'm going to spread my numbers out and make my box. All right, so let's start by thinking 5 times something equals 2. Well, 5 times 1 would equal 5, so that would be too big. So I'm going to choose 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Let's move that 2 up to the next column. And now I've got 21. I know that 5 times 4 equals 20. 21 minus 20 is 1. This 1 goes over to this column. And now I have 16. I know that 5 times 3 equals 15, which would give me a remainder of 1, with the answer being 43. So 216 divided by 5 is 43, remainder 1. I hope that you enjoy the box method.